Module 11. Clear to Close. In the last module, we took a close look at the commitment letter and negotiating an extension. In this module, we'll go over the final preparations and what needs to be done to get a property to close. In the days after getting a clean mortgage commitment, you next need to get a clear to close. Simply put, this is when the bank is ready to send the finalized loan package for the closing and deliver the money in a timely fashion. To be clear, the bank has already committed, but this is the point when they're actually able to physically close. This is not a decision-making step in terms of giving or not giving the loan. It's more of a case where a plane has been waiting on the runway and is now cleared for takeoff. In the clear to close, there will still be some conditions that are post-closing. These are things the bank is already working on and are really not a big deal, as they are always done at and after the closing. Any extraneous items that were on the commitment need to be cleared up to get the clear to close. It's important that the buyer understand this and what clear to close means, especially if they need to provide documents. Let the buyer know this is normal, but it's important that they take action to resolve any outstanding issues. An example of how I approach this conversation is, Mr. Jones, a clear to close is indication that the bank is ready to send the package for the final closing and deliver the money. The issue is that we can't get a clear to close until the bank receives this document from you. Lenders often require additional documents, so this is to be expected. But if we don't get a clear to close by Friday at noon, we won't have a package in time to close on Monday at 9. This means that if they don't get this document and review it in time, we'll be out of contract, and you could lose your deposit. Typically, the issue is that the seller may have to deliver something, like a 6D certificate. This is a document in my state that confirms a condo unit is current with all condo fees, special assessments, etc. Throughout the process, it's key to let the client know that a lot of parties are involved in the transaction, making sure it comes together. Reassure them that there's a good team behind them. This is all part of the Core 7 Secret Service rule we mentioned earlier. It really just lets the client know your team is doing everything possible to make things go smoothly. This is a high-stress time with a lot of moving parts, and many times clients want to place blame if there's a small glitch. It's your job as the realtor and the quarterback of the transaction to let your buyers know all of this is normal and that they have an experienced team who has worked together before working on their behalf, and that this is a huge benefit. Once the clear to close is issued by the bank, they can deliver the package to the closing attorney or escrow company. That's when you can actually get the closing scheduled. The clear to close is the final step before preparation of the closing file, and it typically arrives as an email rather than a formal document. 2 more steps need to happen at this stage. First, there needs to be a conversation with your buyer about the HUD-1 settlement statement. Remind them that the attorney will provide the HUD-1 settlement statement with all the numbers. Be sure to clarify that when the numbers first come over, there may be inaccuracies, but the attorney and the lender will verify everything so that the numbers on the closing documents are 100% correct. Remind the buyer to look over the HUD-1, but not to worry if the numbers are off. In the Core 7 system, the attorney sends a proactive explanation at this point. A copy of this document is available in the Resource Center. So, to sum up, in this module, we discussed the clear to close and steps to take if conditions must be met before you can get it. We also covered preparing the buyer for the HUD-1 settlement statement. In the next module, we'll discuss the walkthrough.